I'm Frank Lucarelli from First American Title. I started on March 14th in 2002 as the courier.
My name is Doris LeBeau. I'm a broker owner at Remax Masters, and I got my license in 1973.
Penny Tarwacki. I'm broker owner of New Dimensions Realty. I got in the business in April of 1988.
Well, when I first started, everything that we currently email to you, I delivered to you. I hand delivered it to you. And then everything that you needed to bring to us, I picked up from your offices.
And I did floor time. Floor time, that's when you got to answer the phone and get business. And they left me. I did the 6 to 9 shift, first call. I pick up one of the binders and it fell apart all over the floor. And I'm trying to find the listing they called on because they saw a sign. Signs, we did those too. And I finally said, it's my first day. They left me here alone and I can't find the house. And the guy was so kind. He goes, that's okay, I'll wait. I'm on the floor trying to find, they were in the plastic report holders. And anyway, he did buy a house from me eventually.
Oh my gosh, there was no multi-list, so I'd have to call John and say, "Hey, John, I see you have a listing on Happy Lane. May I show it?" And his response normally and typically would be, "Well, I have a few customers. I'll wait a week, and next week perhaps you could come."
So we had the book. So you'd find the house, you'd call the agent. He actually called you, scheduled the appointment. You may have to wait for a while for them to get back from the seller. And then they would say the keys here, and you would drive to their office, pick up the keys, and then show the house, and then take the key back, showing 4 or 5 houses all over the area. It might take you all day because keys were all over the area.
Overnight went from, well, the best way to say is we had about 20 employees in the beginning of 2007 and had about 4 employees at the end of 2007 because it changed that dramatically.
I think they went up to 16, like I was trying to remember 1980 or 81 when there was kind of a recession, and then in 21 they went down to 3. The average over 50 years has been 7.4. So we're right where we belong.
Yes, people did buy and sell houses when rates were higher. And I think one of the things that's changed too, besides the parties, is that when I first started, I know how I learned. I sat in an office with 16, 17 other people and just heard things all day long and listened to things.
We were the keeper of information. We were the go-to person if you needed help with buying a home or selling a home. And the internet took that away from us. It made more people think that our value is very diminished in a purchase or sale.
We didn't have homeowner associations. We had some neighbor in the subdivision or the group tell you what you could and couldn't do from the paperwork that came. It's a lot different now. And no cost to transfer ownership.
And you went and sat down with the seller. And sometimes there'd be 4 or 5 of us lined up to present our offers to the seller one after another. But you presented yourself to a seller, which allowed you to really market your buyer to the seller. And then you'd sit and wait till they came out and said who won. And it was an interesting time.
Oh, so that's a plat book. So that all this information should be on the internet now, but back then it used to be in plat books. So that was one of the first things I did when I first started too. Was besides going to the real estate offices, I would actually drive to the townships and to the cities and look up in books like that and get tax information, get whatever we needed from the city. I would go get it, and we would get it out of the plat books. But
And I see you have one of these. A little bit later on, like 3 years maybe, we got to share stuff. The NAR set up a sharing and compensation program, and we actually had books with data, and I could just make an appointment.
So until 1994, when we had buyer agency actually accepted in Michigan, we were subagents of the seller no matter who you were selling. So at that time, you had your offer, you prepared your papers, you pre-qualified your own buyer the best you could.
as much as everything changes and how it really still stays the same. Uh, it usually takes a little period of time, but a few years ago it was very easy. There was many houses for sale. Interest rates were low. People were buying and selling. Right now, there's not as many houses for sale, but it'll change.
We haven't met a challenge we can't conquer yet.